Hey, this is Matt from InvestiQuant. Today is Monday, October 26, 2020. And in the overnight session here to start the week off, we've seen some weakness. The markets have pressed lower. We're trading down below Friday's low in 3 of the 4 instruments as of the time of this recording. The Nasdaq's the only one that is not quite below Friday's low right now. But what I figured we would do this morning is take a look at what has happened historically with a weak open like this on a Monday in a similar environment. So let's take a look. I'm going to set up all 4 instruments. The setup is going to be based upon getting long at the open, which is 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time. It'll exit at the close, which is 4:15 p.m. Eastern Time. For the opening filter, I'm going to use open below prior day low. So let me hit equals there. And then I'm going to put us in a similar environment. I'm going to define that environment as being below a 10-day simple moving average, but above a 200-day simple moving average. And then lastly, I'm going to go into the calendar section. I'm going to say that today is Monday, so Monday specifically here. And then I'm going to click View Results. And here we go. So these are the results of going long on a Monday when in a similar environment defined as below a 10-day simple moving average, but above a 200-day simple moving average when you're opening below the prior day lows. So since this is a Monday, this would, in the overwhelming majority of the cases, would be looking at when opening below Friday low. And historically, we've got 44 samples in the S&P, we've got 40 in the Nasdaq, 40 in the Dow, and 38 in the Russell. So very similar sample sizes here across all 4 instruments dating back to 2003, which you can see up here in the header section. If we look at the win rates on these, you'll see they're fairly messy. And I looked at several things this morning, and this is kind of what I was ending up with in several of the patterns that I was looking at. Is I wasn't seeing a whole lot of things in agreement. I can see some that are a little bit stronger, some that are a little bit weaker, but in generally, I was seeing mixed results, and that's kind of what we're seeing right here. So we're seeing the S&P coming in with 52% win rate here, the Nasdaq 43%, the Dow the strongest at 57%, and the Russell the weakest at 34%. So kind of all over the board here in this example. And if we look at the average win, average loss, you can see average loss larger than the average win in the S&P. For the Nasdaq, they're fairly similar. The Dow, the average loss has been larger than the average win, and the Russell, the average loss has been a little bit larger than the average win. So the average loss on average has been a little bit larger than the average win, but the win rates on these kind of all over the place, not very consistent. We've got a couple that are weak, one that's slightly favored, and one that's pretty neutral. Let's take a quick look at the results distribution. I've got the S&P loaded here as well. And if we look at these, again, if you've never seen this chart, the way it's laid out, the taller the bar, the more sample sizes it has. So you've got your sample sizes on the vertical axis, and then the profit and loss based upon trading a single contract of the S&P futures is on the horizontal axis. The farther to the left, the bigger the loss. The farther to the right, the bigger the gain. We've got 0 right here in the center. And like the rest of the results, this chart here is kind of all over the place. You don't see a grouping anywhere of, like a bell curve shape. These are just kind of scattered throughout. There's not one type of result that happens most consistently. There's several different results that are just kind of spread out. So like the other stats that we were looking at, this is pretty messy, and this is not showing a strong edge off the open, which is similar to a lot of the things that I've looked at this morning. So not as clean of a day to start the week off this morning in my view. But hopefully you found that helpful. Good luck today, and we'll see you next time.